ATN, where the Autobots are subscribed.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. Alright, so Transformers Age of Extinction. I want to get back on this topic. Last video I did titled Galvatron the Bitch. When I heard the news about Galvatron being man-made, got a lot of response to that video. A lot of people, most people not really here on the nation. I don't believe these people are subscribers because those of you who know that I've been talking Transformers, those of you who've been subscribed here for a while, you know that I was very fair and very objective in terms of Michael Bay and his Transformer movies. I really enjoyed the first one. Second one wasn't that great, but still had a lot of good action. Third one I thought was the best in the series. And as much as people complain about the looks of the Transformers, or complain about this, or complain about that, I, for the most part, have put all that aside because I enjoy the movie for what it is. It's just an action popcorn flick. There's really no... The plot's very simple at best. I've said this time and time again. So a lot of responders came in, basically asking the question how, or trying to inform me that, it is possible for the humans to build Galvatron because they had access to the technology from the time that Megatron landed in the ice. Well, yes and no. And this is where it gets a little interesting because this right here, what's going to happen is you're going to see why people don't like the plot of this movie because there's too many gaps. So here's the case I'm trying to make. Yes, they had Megatron in captivity for, at least as far as they said in the movie, cryogly frozen for about 70 years. But they did find him before that. Within that time, a 70-year time frame, what they got out of Megatron was lasers, some modern technology, cars, things of that nature. That's how they developed the technology to do those things. Have cars, have lasers, surgery, whatever the case may be. Fine. So they did get something from Megatron. Nothing groundbreaking. They just use that as an excuse as to why we can drive. That's basically what it comes down to. Now we go to Revenge of the Fallen. Okay, now Revenge of the Fallen, there's a character called Galloway. If you remember the movie, Galloway was the politician who came in after the beginning of the movie when they went to Shanghai and stopped the other two Decepticons. And he comes in with a request from the president for the Autobots to leave because they feel the Decepticons are on Earth because the Autobots are. And one of the things Galloway says, or it's either Galloway or Calloway, I don't remember 100%. He says to Optimus, he looks at him and he says, we have a treaty with you where you provide us with intel, but you refuse to give us information and things of that nature regarding your advanced weaponry. Their tech, basically. And obviously Optimus Prime acknowledges this and tells him, because we know in your hands it could do more harm than good. So that right there establishes that there's an agreement that more or less technology from Cybertronian technology is not going to be in the hands of humans. It was beforehand, and then they took it away. So that is why Megatron got dumped in the ocean, and the other Allspark cube got locked up in a containment facility and guarded, and then obviously Sam had one that nobody knew about. So at that point, humans don't have access to technology, okay, at all. So that's all of the Fallen and pretty much all of Dark of the Moon. Now in this movie, obviously, this movie coming up takes place 4 years after Dark of the Moon. So if you put the time together that they haven't had the technology back in their hands, my argument is this. They only got lasers and cars and some other modern technology out of Megatron in the first movie. Like, the point I'm trying to make is people were arguing in the last video that they had Megatron and they had the cube, they could have reverse engineered. They said in the movie itself, they did get lasers and cars for the most part and some other modern technology that we experience today in their story from him. In the third movie, they have more Cybertronian technology. They didn't even attempt to reverse engineer it. So anyone who's going to come out and make the argument that they had the pillars, that argument is moot because they didn't do anything with those pillars at all. They didn't do any reverse engineering with that. Now we're in this movie, okay? And here we are. We've arrived at Transformers 4, Age of Extinction, and this is why I said in my last video, they got access to Cybertronian technology after the fight because you figure at this point there's body parts and robot parts all over the place, whatever the case may be. You figure within that 4-year time frame, they started to either attack or go after the Autobots at some point, maybe. That's the speculation because the movie's not out yet. Because, I mean, face it, their weapons were, I mean, they've said this many times in the movies. Human weapons, heat signature weapons, like 600 degrees Fahrenheit and above, were effective against the robots. So there's no reason why those same weapons won't hurt the Autobots. Maybe that's why they went into hiding. During that time, to help assist the humans with eradicating the robots, they try to build Galvatron. The problem is, if you just get your hands back on technology, Cybertronian technology, from the end of Dark of the Moon to this movie, which is 4 years according to the plot, or the plot that they're trying to go with, that means in 4 years you went from getting cars and lasers out of Cybertronian technology to a full-fledged functioning robot that you got the parts from Megatron. So somehow you learn how to rebuild a robot. You learn how to give him an energy source. You learn how to reverse engineer his thought process when you consider how intelligent these beings are. And you do this in 4 years. So you went from getting cars and lasers to building a Cybertronian robot in 4 years. That's the problem. And on top of that, even if they succeeded, you're going to tell me it's perfectly working out there to go and fight in 4 years? Now, a lot of people are speculating that it might go rogue. That to me, I can accept that as long as it happens right away. If it's something, or it may not even happen at all, but if it's something that happens right away, then that's fine. But I just don't buy the humans building a Cybertronian robot in a matter of 4 years after they haven't had access to that technology since the first movie, which is what? I can't remember what year it came out. I mean, we're in 2014 now, so what? 2008, 2007, I think. So roughly 7 years they haven't had access. Well, I mean, I just don't buy it. Now, the other reason I have a problem with Galvatron being built by humans is because he wasn't developed that way in the cartoon. You know, like yes, he came from Unicron. I am aware I said I don't want Unicron in the movie, but they've gone off the beaten path before. My point is, I just wish that if they go off the beaten path, they wouldn't go this route, because I think humans building Cybertronian technology, you never see that. The last time you saw that, at least as far as I can remember, because I didn't watch the whole cartoon series, the last time you saw that for me at least, was in the 1986 movie. And you want to know something? Spike and his son, they built a basic little robot suit that they can wear that transforms 2 parts, that turns them into a little buggy and they ride around. So that to me would be realistic, not a full-fledged robot. And how do they get the name Galvatron too? I mean, I understand. I have not killed Michael Bay since this whole series started. I haven't. It's the first time. It's the first time I've killed him. It just doesn't make sense. There's so many plot holes, you know, and I've looked past them. I've looked past all of them. I can't do it anymore now with this Galvatron thing. Oh, my point is this. At the end of the day, just because they had access to the technology, it took them 70 years to get cars and lasers. So how can in 4 years they build a full-fledged Cybertronian robot? Come on. I'm not expecting full-fledged reality in my movies. It's a movie. It's fake. It's supposed to be off the beaten path of reality. But you gotta keep it a little grounded. And I just can't see humans building one. I can't. It doesn't make sense. I have accepted the changes and all this and all that. I really, really have. But this one is too much. It's too much. This technology is way too advanced for human comprehension, according to the story. I just can't accept the fact that this guy's being built by humans. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It doesn't matter if oh, well, you know, he was built by Unicron, and Unicron's not in the movie, so human. No. All right, you know what? Just because Unicron's not in the movie doesn't mean he can't be built by somebody else. Lockdown is supposed to be a specialist at getting robot parts and utilizing them, so why not have him build them? In fact, that'd make more sense to me than the humans. The only reason I don't want Unicron in the movie is because I know that it won't be done right, and he is another big-time character. I mean, I look back at what happened with Galactus in Rise of the Silver Surfer, and I think I don't want a Unicron because of that, because it'll screw it up. It's too hard for them to do. I understand that. But anyway, so that's my case. Yes, they had the technology. They lost the technology. Within that time frame, the only thing they got out of the technology were cars and lasers, which is, quote, what they said in the movie, amongst other things. He said modern technology, which is the technology we see today, which is not very impressive in a 70-year span, in my opinion. You've been reverse engineering him for 70 years, and you get a car and lasers out of it? Please, it's a joke. Now, suddenly, after 7 years since they've had their hands on the technology, now they can build a full-fledged robot. Guys, it doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. That's my opinion. I know you guys have your opinion. I respect that. But I just felt the need to make my case because some people came in here and they didn't think I knew what I was talking about. So I guess I had to go into more detail because some of those viewers were people who have not been on this channel very long, if at all, and they don't know some of the other things I've spoken about regarding Transformers. So there you have it. That's my argument in more detail. This is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Nation Facebook page. I am Optimus Prime, and you're watching ETN, where the Autobots are subscribed.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. Alright, so Transformers Age of Extinction. I want to get back on this topic. Last video I did, titled Galvatron the Bitch, when I heard the news about Galvatron being man-made. Got a lot of response to that video. A lot of people, most people not really here on the Nation. I don't believe these people are subscribers because those of you who know that I've been talking Transformers, those of you who've been subscribed here for a while, you know that I was very fair and very objective in terms of Michael Bay and his Transformer movies. I really enjoyed the first one. Second one wasn't that great, but still had a lot of good action. Third one I thought was the best in the series. And as much as people complain about the looks of the Transformers, or complain about this, or complain about that, I, for the most part, have put all that aside because I enjoy the movie for what it is. It's just an action popcorn flick. There's really no... The plot's very simple at best. I've said this time and time again. So a lot of responders came in, basically asking the question how, or trying to inform me that, it is possible for the humans to build Galvatron because they had access to the technology from the time that Megatron landed in the ice. Well, yes and no. And this is where it gets a little interesting because this right here, what's going to happen is you're going to see why people don't like the plot of this movie because there's too many gaps. So here's the case I'm trying to make. Yes, they had